Well, big up, and welcome to the Liverpool12thMan show. This is going to be a preview show. Welcome back to everyone from this week of interesting games that have kind of like unveiled today, and then what's going to be unveiling for us tomorrow against a team that we can possibly do a double over, and that would be a very, very big deal. We got Lee, we got Brian, we got JK in the house. And hopefully we got you as well to join in on the conversation. How you guys doing today? Lee, how are you?
Excellent.
Excellent. JK, how are you?
Oh, well, bro. I hope you're well.
Yeah. Making out. And last but not least, definitely, Brian, how are you?
Very well.
Very well. Okay.
Okay, Dustin. First thing.
I mean, has some of the is there enough juice in winning this Premier League to kind of ride it all the way to the parade? You think? Be on cloud nine, kind of no care in the world. Is the question. But this weekend we walked to Stamford Bridge. Not just for the applause, but hopefully to start a little dominance over the Blues. It's not a bad thing to see because Chelsea's a team that I don't really enjoy seeing. I don't enjoy a lot of their players. I don't enjoy the way they go about making their organization work and the way they keep it running. But, you know, the biggest question is Chelsea are clapping us in, but the question is, will they clap back? Because our side is a side that came against this team. We won 2-1 back in October. It seems like forever ago. And now Liverpool have the chance to complete the first league double over Chelsea since can you remember the last time we won a double over Chelsea?
Under Roy Evans? Was it under Roy Evans?
No. Not that far back. Anyone? Want to take a guess? I can give it to you. If not, I can just give it to you.
14, 15.
14, 15? Okay. JK, you want to take a stab?
17, 18?
Okay, you're getting closer. 2019, 2020 seasons, last time we did a double over Chelsea.
Yeah, the rare.
That was a pretty good. That was when we ran Ramshack on the league, though.
I've got to say, Stamford Bridge was never an easy visit, even when Chelsea was shit. When I used to go to matches as a kid, you know, Chelsea were like up and down between Division 2 and Division 1 then. But, you know, what's the Championship now? But even them days, it wasn't an easy ground to go to, Stamford Bridge. You had to work hard to get a result there.
Yeah. For quite a long time, we just got a lot of draws. That's why. It wasn't the fact that, like, we weren't able to beat them or sometimes even them vice versa, but more so it's been the draws. Like, those Tuchel years were, like, rough. Even though we won a lot of the finals, it was still the fact that
they were a war of attrition, weren't they? Them Tuchel Klopp finals, the two of them in the League Cup and then the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one more chapter, a near perfect campaign. I mean, like, I think that all of us are very, very appreciative of the fact that that Guard of Honor is finally here.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to see proper acknowledgement of a team that might not be the same team you see start of the new campaign next year, but still deserves a little bit more than what they deserves this last hurrah.
Yeah,
with this complete core group.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, the Guard of Honor, and I'm looking forward to the Chelsea fans having to watch it as well. That'll please me immensely. They are a fan base that I do just like. I'm sure a few of them are all right, like, but a majority of Chelsea fans are dickheads in my experience online. Very entitled Chelsea fans, considering like what they are as a club. They're not until some rich fella bought them, some obscenely rich fella, just like Man City, with a nothing club that never won bugger all ever. Well, what they won one trophy, and that was actually the league. They have been champions once, but that's the only major trophy they've ever bloody won.
Yeah. One thing we do have one more of is a panelist with us. It is a Lady Red as well. Bernie's in the house. Big up, Bernie. How are you?
Permission to come aboard, Captain.
Like it, yes, definitely. Hey,
Yeah, I was
just trying to live up in Virgil's shadow. Like trying to make it up.
No, do you know, I was just put in there before. In 2023, Casado and Lavia turned us down, and tomorrow they're giving us a guard of honor.
Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah. It is a weird set of I was saying to Brian earlier, sliding doors. We might talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk about that a little later, actually. But yeah, it is a weird sliding doors for sure. I'll tell you what is interesting though is that so the Opta computer, that thing, I'm going to show you some. They're one of the sources that I do like to sometimes see what they do with. Not only they have great stats, but they also have interesting lineups lately. You've seen some of the lineups they've gone with. Their lineup today is nothing short of, but their supercomputer has run it, and it's feeling kind of blue. Chelsea have a 43.3% chance of winning, according to the supercomputer, and Liverpool have just 31.9%. This is like something where they run the scenario like 10,000 times or some astronomical number, and this is what they came back. But what's really, really telling is that what I spoke on earlier, draws. There's the real heavy chance, 24.8%, around 25, about quarter of 100, is a draw. And when I asked the panel, do you think that Slot's going to go out with a mission? I mean, we're not factoring, obviously, Mo Salah, who we all know loves a record to break. So he's certainly on a mission to get those 3 assists. Lucho has been absolutely terrorizing, I would say. Our opposition has been possibly our best informed player as of late. Chelsea haven't beaten Liverpool in the past 10 straight meetings across all competitions. That's their second longest winless run against us in their history. And it should be interesting. Does Slot go strong for you, or does Slot rotate? I'll ask that of Bernie, actually.
I think we've talked about this earlier. What would you like him to do, as opposed to what do you think he'll do? I don't think he'll make a lot of. I think to start, I think he might put Endo in and Elliott, but I don't think he'll put anybody else in outside that in the first half. If he puts them in, that would be my guess.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell both actually, because we all know that there's a lot of what we would like to see him do, but it's come to what we expect him to do nowadays too. So I'll ask the same question of Lee. What's your expectations and what's your heart? What in your heart do you want to see?
I would like to see Endo play. How he works that out, I'm unsure. Whether Gravenberch could play too, I don't know. But I'm thinking he might not start Gravenberch. But then again, we don't know that. I think an Elliott has also got a good chance of starting, but that would be too big changes in midfield, wouldn't he, for an away game at Chelsea? It's going to make it hard, isn't it? Maybe just one of them would start. Maybe just Endo comes in, push McAllister forward. Would be interesting to see.
Mm. Okay.
JK? The fullbacks,
Yeah.
the fullbacks, like I'd like to see Simi give him a chance to have a full game, and if he's playing well, just leave him on. He doesn't need to go off on like 75 minutes. Leave him on the whole game, see what he can give us. Ditto with Bradley. If Bradley starts, I'll see that as a sign that Trent is leaving. Because I think most of us are pretty certain now that he is leaving, so I think Bradley should start. And up front, yeah, he might give Jota a shout, mightn't he? I doubt we'll see Betty from the start. He might get some minutes at some point, like if he's lucky.
Okay. Brian, Slot goes strong, or does he go? And when I mean strong, he goes with the team that's pretty much gotten us over the line for most of the year, or does he go with rotation in this one? And tell you, and then give what you would like to see, your expectation in your heart.
Oh well, yeah, we were doing a bit of a team builder on my show, and there was a lot of different opinions on who was going to start. I think he'll change too, but I'm struggling to see which two, because there's the obvious players that will start. I think predicting it, I think he'll go relatively strong, like 85%. I think if we're lucky, we get an Elliott and a Chiesa. An Elliott for Durham and a Chiesa through the middle. Yeah. At the best,
it's right, Chiesa in the 9. You're saying?
Yeah. Gakpo off the left. I think he will go with Diaz and Salah. I think he will go with. The boys are predicting. Excuse me, Endo. I don't know if he'll start Endo, but I think he will make good on his promise to make changes, but not too many changes. So I'm trying to figure out where those changes could be. And to me, I think the easiest way to do it is to do it in an attacking sense, as opposed to a controlled sense. So my gamble would be that he starts Chiesa. He's not going to start Chiesa. I know he's not going to start Chiesa. No. I just want to, but I know he's not going to.
Not this game. He will. I think he will start. By the way, I think he will start.
This is what I was saying to Lee earlier on. Like he can make changes, but is Chelsea away the game to make it?
No.
It's not the one for. So, but I can still see him making good on his promise to make changes, but I just don't see where. Maybe we'll get some, because I don't think Endo will start. I don't think Kwanzaa will start. I don't think Chiesa will start. I don't think Elliott will start. But he said he's going to make changes. So Salah will start. The easy way to do it is do it the other way around. Who will definitely start? Ali starts. Spurs will start. Ibu starts. Salah starts. Max starts.
Yeah.
So then you've got a few places left. I would absolutely love to see us line up with Chiesa through the middle tomorrow. That's what I would love to. I don't think Harvey starts and does 90 minutes if Chiesa starts. I don't think he'll do both. But I'd love to see him do either or. But I would just love to see him go, yeah, look, Jota, Nunes, everyone knows what you can do, what you can't do. We're just going to give Fede a shot through the middle tomorrow. Straight down the middle, false 9, Gakpo off the left, or Diaz, whichever one you like, and obviously Salah off the right. And just make it's only an attacking change. It doesn't have to be, take out Grav, take out Ibu. You can make some changes that way. But just give us, the opportunity to see that and give him the opportunity to play. It's a dead rubber game. So,
quick question and real rapid fire. Would you be hurt to see Chiesa start at the 10? Maybe instead of Elliott, for instance. or because
Oh,
I don't
Chiesa
think
in
he'll
the
start.
midfield
I don't
three.
think he's not going to move Cody or Lucho off as the number one, number two option for the left wing. So that would only leave either the 9 or the 10. Let's say hypothetically he goes with Hatta, because maybe maybe we're going to try to showcase some of this talent to maybe even sell in the summer. Would you be disappointed to see Chiesa play 10 in front of Elliott? Or would you just much rather see Elliott in the 10? Or at least another resource there? I'll ask that real quick. We'll go reverse order. Brian, you can start off, and then we'll just go around the
Yeah, I don't think Chiesa in the 10 dropping into midfield. Probably, I'd rather see him up front. I'd rather see him ahead of. Yeah, so if we're going to do something, I'd rather see Elliott there.
Okay. JK?
Bless up, bro. It's like the first time we've all got together again after we won the league anyway. So we're league champions right now with the crew together. Bro, I just love to see Chiesa on the pitch. I don't care if he's left back, right back, in goals, whatever. I'll just be happy to see the guy on the pitch, bro. Like for me, I'll play him in that Jota position. For me, he's made for this Chelsea game for some reason in London. I just see him doing something. It's weird. I've been having this sort of dreams the last few days where I see Chiesa starting against Chelsea.
He can get that shot off. He can get his shot off from being creative. The reason why I don't have him at the 9 too. Why I'm not offering him as a 9, choice as a 9 as Brian did, and possibly as a 10 is because we've seen him crack quite a few opportunities, shots from right around like the box area, like maybe a step or two inside the box, maybe even a step outside the box. He's not scared to get a shot off. He likes to go forward, of course, too. So as a 10, you can go forward. More so probably a threat than I would say even Elliott when it comes to scoring. Elliott maybe has a little bit better passing range than Chiesa maybe, but I would certainly look at Chiesa more likely to score than possibly Elliott. But not saying that Elliott can't score. Obviously he can. Still a no-go on the 10. Does it have to be Elliott if we're going to make a change for Dom in this one? Lee? Or excuse me, Bernie. We're going to run on horn.
Sorry, I was just looking at a bit of research there while we were talking. We were talking about Elliott. Who
Chiesa or Elliott. Chiesa or Elliott, basically.
Oh, well, I'm desperate to get Chiesa on to see him, but obviously more up front and midfield. So I'd say play Harvey. I would like to see Chiesa instead of Jota, to be honest with you, but I just can't see it happening.
Yeah. I think that's what I mean. Two people and then have maybe even Lucho on the left. There's you'd have a lot and have Salah on the right. You'd have 3 creative entities there for your gunman or there for your Slata. That would be very interesting, I think.
And I've just got a feeling in my bones that Chiesa and Mo would have a brilliant 1-2 between them. Because he's so creative.
Yes.
Isn't it? And Mo's like a little wizard, sort of dribbling in and out, and you just feel like Chiesa they would complement each other. And then if you had Diaz on as well, if he was or Gakpo, but I think Diaz probably with them 2 up front, and then Elliott obviously would be supplying Mo. He's desperate to get in, isn't he, and supplying. So that would be my wish. If I could have a wish, that would be it.
Yeah. It's a question of Lee too, because is this a case where Dom or even Curtis are so essential to the way that we work that we couldn't go with a tandem of maybe start Chiesa, have Elliott be that like spark plug when if Chiesa does start to tire a little bit in that second, maybe in that second half, bring in Elliott, who's going to be this just that lightning bug, that bumblebee that's let out of the jar type on the pitch, and create something where you allow for maybe even Cody to be on the left side, and you have another very versatile, very capable scorer, similar with like a deadly shot or something along those lines, where you can create Salah or Chiesa to provide them some opportunities. Would you be interested to see him start at the 10, or would you want to see even maybe Elliott start at the 10, and you could do the?
I think if Chiesa was to start the game, it'd have to be the side that wasn't drastically altered as well as that. If he played with Endo and Elliott as well, starting in midfield, coming in as changes. I think with this test of Chelsea that they give us at Anfield, as it signifies that Slot said, didn't it? It was his hardest game, overcoming Chelsea that day. So given that, they give us that test at Anfield, it's going to be, and they need the points for Champions League. It's going to be quite a test, and I don't think he'll make all. There's a lot of players I'd like to see play, just from a point of view of, being nice. Yeah, I want to see Endo being nice. I want to see Elliott being nice. I want to see Freddie being nice. I want to see Simi being nice to him. But really, I just want us to win. Basically, whatever team we've got, I just want us to win.
Yeah.
I hope Endo can at least come on as a sub if he doesn't start. He's the main one.
Okay, I'll ask this, Lee. Lee, answer this one then. And this is we'll do one more reverse. This is the last one, but we'll do one more reverse around the horn then. We'll start with Lee then. Who is the one person that generally doesn't start that you want to see the most start tomorrow?
Endo, yeah. Even though Elliott's a Liverpool fan and all that palaver, it's Endo for me because he's such a good pro, and he's been good. He was good for us last season, wasn't he? He was a good part of last season. And don't forget, last season was good until right at the end. The wheels only come off right at the end last season, and Endo was boss. Or he's not Slot's cup of tea, is he? But I'd like him to start, just to see him come out at the beginning, to be one of the people who walked out at the beginning. It pleased me. In that sense.
Okay. Endo. One shot for Endo. Bernie, one player that you would want to see get a start tomorrow. You could phone. You could ring up Arnie and say, Arnie, hey, I'd like to see some minutes for this guy. Who's that player?
I'm sticking with Chiesa because I know what Harvey can do. I know what Endo can do. But but I haven't seen enough of Chiesa just to see how good he can be. And my research before, although they think I was researching Tyndall and I wasn't, I was actually researching why doesn't Slot play Chiesa, and it said that he said he's been injured too much, so he hasn't seen enough of him on the playing field. But I think if he is planning on selling him, he doesn't want to get him injured because he wants as much money for him as he can. So that's my take on that. But it would definitely be Chiesa. I just want to see. I'd like him to prove Slot wrong and turn into something fantastic. Oh, and that was the other thing. Slot thinks, he said, Mo's been playing. He only sees him to cover for Mo. That's the problem.
In a press conference.
Yeah, that's the problem. He
referenced it as a press conference as he's got Mo Salah in front of him. So
yeah. So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh no, Bernie, you can go ahead. There might be a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, no, it was Chiesa for those reasons, because I've seen Harvey. I know what he can do, and we were impressed. Same with Endo, But it's like we've had a little tease with Chiesa, and we got that goal in the Carabao Cup, and you just think, well, what is it? I'd like it to once and for all to be put to bed. Is he good enough, or is he going to be flaky and get injured and go off, or could he really impress us? So Chiesa.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Heck. JK, you get your
One guy,
choice now.
bro. I've got two guys, really.
You got two guys. You got to pick one. You
I
can say your
go
other.
with Darwin.
You can say your other, but you got to pick one. You got to pick the one.
Like, for me, I'm going to go with Darwin Núñez, bro.
Nice. Okay.
I got him on my picture. I don't know, man. I just want to see him play football, bro. Like, look, the other day when he came on against Tottenham, he was sort of involved in the game straight away. You know what I mean? He should have actually scored. But yeah, so I'd love to see Darwin just get a game, see what he can do.
Okay, so one for Endo, one for Chiesa, one for Núñez. Brian, who's the guy you're telling Arnie on the horn? Let me see. Let me see this guy on the starting lineup. Could be anyone too. It could be a youth academy player, maybe. You could say maybe Simicast if you like. That'd be all that. You can be any player that you want, as long as they're not like a normal regular starter.
Yeah, I suppose sorry to be boring, but I mean Jota, he's the kind of the main fixation there. So closest thing to him is yeah, okay. Okay, just give me a sec.
Yeah.
It'll be Chiesa then, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Chiesa. Where's that gone? Yeah, it's got to be him. Has to be.
Okay. All right. So it's two Chiesa, one Endo, one Núñez. All right. What were some of the other ones in the chat? I saw a lot of the chat were going more Chiesa was like the heavy favorite in the chat, I think. Anyone else? I think there was one or two other shouts outside of Chiesa. Chiesa from Jimmy, Chiesa from Red Armchair Supporter. I think Trap Joe was saying Endo because he'd like to see Maka as a 10. Let's see. Anyone else get any shouts in there? Norm said he'd like to see Endo play DM and Spotlight in a pure advanced role.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I'd rather see Gravenberch play tomorrow because I reckon Gravenberch is finding form again. It was top against Tottenham, Gravenberch. I think, see that, bro? See when our midfield is on its game, all three of them?
Oh, it's a like
we're beating teams. We're beating teams. And that's what we lacked in that PSG game and Newcastle final game. That midfield display against Tottenham. Simple. As soon as the midfield clicks, the whole team clicks, man. So a midfield is probably the hardest position to get right in a game for a manager. You know what I mean? Like wingers, yeah, strikers, yeah, but getting that three combo right is very hard. And if they all stay fit as well. So for me, that midfield display against Tottenham was good.
It makes such a difference, like you said. It makes a difference, and I'll even go one step further with your comment. Or it makes a difference when your midfielders are scoring or involved in scoring.
Yeah.
Like Maka has turned it up in the last couple of games.
It's a good reason to move him into the 10 for this game to accommodate Endo. Move him into the 10.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what Norm was just saying earlier. Yeah.
And Ryan can play as well.
Trap Joe said that as well earlier. Yeah. But what I was going to say, an interesting statistic is that there's only been this team actually, this This is better than 6 of Klopp's 8. So yes, there was 2. 6 of Klopp's 8 full seasons, right? This team has scored more points per game, which is pretty impressive. I didn't know that until I saw that stat. We've seen some very high scoring Klopp teams, and to say that this team has scored on a pace or on a level better than 6 of those teams, and only having 2 other teams be better in their points per game, you can probably guess which years they are. I don't have them in front of the actual years that they were, but most likely, like the 2019, 2020 year or something like that. Maybe like the year we went for Champions League, or maybe the year that we went for the league earlier. But this team scores on a high pitch. 2.41 points per game is a decent number. We scored in 30 straight league games. 30 straight league games. That's a lot of games. It's a pretty good stat. It helps out. That's why you get a number like a 2.41 points per game.
No, that's pretty decent. Yeah.
It's pretty decent. Surprisingly so. I know this team scores a lot. Sorry about that. I know this team scores a lot, but I wouldn't have said I wouldn't have said that they were in 3rd place, basically, including Klopp's years and now Arnie's year included. Do you realize there's only one other team that has done a better run since 2001, 2002? Do you want to guess who that team is that's done the better run? Anyone on the panel? Let's see if take a guess. Dustin says no, not Forest. Or maybe, I don't know if that's for it. I don't think that's for the answer.
Chelsea.
You're going to go Chelsea?
City. No?
You're going to go City? Okay. I got you, JK. Bernie, you want to have a guess?
City.
City? Okay. City.
City, that was like a proper Manchester accent, that was. City.
City. Brian? You want to take a guess?
I'm not sure what the question is, so I'll say Chelsea.
Okay. The question
I think
was,
it's something like the longest
there's
scoring
only-
run or something, is it?
right. We've scored in 30 straight league games. There's only one
Okay.
other team since 2001, 2002 that's done better in a single season. I would have said
Arsenal. Arsenal.
yeah. I would have said City as well if I was guessing this and I hadn't known the answer. But it's Arsenal.
Yeah. No, I thought it was pointed. No, because I know that Arsenal score. I would have gone with them, not Chelsea, because they're more likely to get out.
Yeah.
Maybe going back to just 2001, 2002 gave it away a little bit.
I thought you meant he was on the best run at the moment in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't know, he meant scoring. I sort of missed half the question as well myself. But that is more likely, isn't it? Arsenal than Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see Arsenal got beat again. That's a good one.
Yeah, no one's talked about that.
Bournemouth at home. They're choking. JK, they're racking up more records than Mo Salah have. First time Bournemouth have ever beaten Arsenal at home. They're just choking up more records every week, man.
But have you noticed their form, league form? They're so reliant on that Champions League Real Madrid win that like they thought they'd win it, and hence why they've really petered out on their league form.
I don't give them much hope of getting the win in Paris. That'll take them through. I think they can make a game of it in Paris, but they won't get through. No chance. Like
no chance.
Arteta's on a wing and a prayer there, but we will do it. We will go to the final. Crap. Your chance is gone.
I'm enjoying Arteta looking more and more angry and bitter every week, doesn't he? He's
bitter.
he's sinking into a quagmire of
Yeah,
hatred.
he's turned into a bad whinge, and he about the injuries.
Yeah.
If I could do an impression of him, I would, just for the laugh, like, but
I mean-
going on about injuries constantly is doing me
You
head in
realize-
this
Oh,
constant
do it.
bitter.
You realize how much is riding, Lee? You realize how much is riding on their performance in Paris coming up?
Mm-hmm.
They had this game to, as a buffer between going to going to Paris. Obviously, they're down 1-0 in that Champions League run, tie, and now they'll have to go to Paris, a place where it's difficult to play, a place that we saw was very difficult to play. We're fortunate to get the goal that we got and have unless Raya, plays on his head, they're looking at, Arteta's looking at, again, no trophies, reflecting, he'll be talking about most likely the most proliferous award they've won, and that is 2 charity shields as his, like, hey, we'll get them next year. That would be something. That would be certainly something. I mean, let's just be honest. Chelsea, too, as well, our host tomorrow, they have a promising player amongst them, someone that I actually rate. I know you guys are a little bit on the fence, maybe, with how high you might rate him as of late, but he's youthful, inconsistent, but certainly dangerous. He has 17 points in the last 8 matches. You can always compare that with the 9 out of 10 before that. And you see a side on the rise. Nicholas Jackson scoring again. Enzo Fernandez is playing, decent. Quietly among the top 4 creators in the Premier League with 73 chances. I did not know that until coming across that. That is a quiet stat that should, you would think, ring louder for a player that was, a 9-figure transfer acquisition and certainly hasn't played to the level to, say that price tag is well spent. But this match has Cole Palmer's addition, maybe. I would like to say it would be Cole Palmer's addition. I think Cole Palmer's a fantastic talent. I think there's a lot about him that would be great in a different color of kit. But Cole Palmer's no Premier League goals since January. He's got flair, vision, point to prove, maybe. We've shut him down before. He's not just showcasing for Chelsea, Maybe some fans in red. Maybe a particular Boston Red. But look,
Not for me.
history stacked against the Blues. Chelsea have never gone longer than 11 games without beating. They're currently at 10. Can we stretch it to 11? I'll ask that of JK. Can we stretch it to 11?
As long as our midfield turns up like they did last week, like they did against City away, then for sure. Like for me, Palmer is a good player. I think he's just playing for the wrong team. He's not my type of player. I'll tell you the truth. I think he's a little. He's like, see how Curtis slows the game down a bit too much sometimes. He's a bit like that. He don't flow enough for me, Palmer. I know Brian likes him. You like him. I just don't really think he's that great. His stats say something else, but just watching him with the eye playing, he ain't my cup of tea.
Okay. Lee, same question.
Sorry, I lost the question then. Just repeat
The question is basically, do you rate Palmer? Basically,
Palmer, yes, very much. Yeah, very much rate Palmer. I think he's an excellent player. Really excellent player.
Okay.
When you look at him, you think, what City have let go there? I really like him. I think he's good.
Okay.
Talented boy.
I put in a poll for those out there in the chat. Who's the bigger threat on Sunday? Is it A, Cole Palmer, B, Nicholas Jackson, C, maybe we'll just combine the whole Chelsea's midfield press, or is it D, none? Liverpool are just better and we should win.
I think their whole attack will be a threat, and their attack and midfield players. They've just got good players, haven't they, basically, Chelsea? So it's going to be a stiff test, isn't it, tomorrow?
I think Cole Palmer is a good player, but when I say good player, he's a good goal scorer, but don't necessarily think he's a good player. I mean, does it matter if you get the goals? But I do think that, you know, when anybody seems to play us, it's like they're looking for a scalp, or they want to prove that, you know, they can turn us over. So I think he may turn up tomorrow, but personally, I see Jackson being a bigger threat tomorrow than Palmer.
Okay. Nicholas Jackson. How about for you, Brian? Do you have an answer on that poll?
Yeah. I don't really fear either of them. One is out of form. One isn't that good. Chelsea midfield will be interesting because Lavia is back in now.
Yeah.
And what they've done is in the last game they put Saicedo at right back.
Right.
They
Yeah. I
put
was going to talk
Lavia
about that.
in
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's been inverting and stuff.
Inverting. Yeah.
That will be a tough. Like Enzo Fernandez, like you say, is quietly in good form. Lavia has also quietly come back into good form, and Saicedo, that won't be an easy midfield to deal with. So that I think could be probably my answer on that one. Will be the midfield.
Okay.
One name no one's really mentioned, Neto, bro. On his day, Neto, top class player. Like I was always wanted him at Liverpool. I think if we got him with Slot, even with Klopp, I think he would have been a player for us. I'm so peed off that he went to Chelsea, but he could be a danger.
Okay. Here, let me since we're talking about Chelsea, let me just I'll bring up Chelsea. This is what OptiScore thinks they're going to do with their lineup tomorrow. Play Jackson at the top, Madueke on the left, Palmer as that 10, Neto, as JK was just speaking on the right, then a tandem of Fernandez and Lavia, Caicedo as a right back, Chaleba, Colwell, and then Cucurella on the left. And then what will be interesting is they have Jorgensen in goal. They've certainly been hurting, or not hurting, but you can go as far as it's hurting. They've been wanting a goalkeeper so far that they've been pining to get Kelleher actually as their keeper next year. They would love to try to get that acquisition over the line. So that would be interesting. Would you allow for Kelleher to leave to Chelsea, for what price would make you say okay?
40.
40? Is that 40 for you, Lee? Okay.
Yeah, 40.
170 because it's Chelsea.
170? No, he said. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, they've got a
A little bit of range right there from 40 to 170. How about for you, Bernie?
Sorry, I was just asking people.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was just typing. Ask them to hit the like button. Could you just repeat it, please?
Yeah, no problem. What would be your price tag if Kelleher? Because Chelsea have been interested in getting a new goalkeeper. There's been reports that they would be interested in possibly it being Kelleher. If it was to be Kelleher, what would be your price that would make you say, "Oh, that's just a price tag we can't pass off"? What's the number that you would move Kelleher to Chelsea for?
I wouldn't sell him for less than well, it's what he's worth, really, isn't it? But suppose I don't think we'd get 60 for him. I think I'd probably with Dustin. I think probably about 50. I wouldn't sell him for less than that because you may as well keep him as a Spur. He's too good.
Right.
So although I know we've got the other guy, but probably about 50, definitely.
Is the minimum. Yeah, I mean, you can put on the, what they call the Premier League tax, or especially the rival tax. Okay, so Lee, you said 40, 50. No, you said 40. JK's at 170. And you're saying 50, Bernie. Brian,
you've got to think, haven't you? Just in case we did have a problem with Ali or our other goalie. Who can you get in of his caliber for for 40 or 50 million?
You're right on. I think that the hope of finding a number 2 that's been as I think that as reliable as Kelleher has been, I think that mantle has passed to now being a goalkeeper fight between Yaros, who just signed a new deal, obviously Marmar Dashvili, who possibly could return. And obviously we do have, Ali is a player that has seen quite a few minutes missed. So those goalkeepers do have a real vaunted opportunity in front of them to be that number 2 or be the second fiddle, and for right now at least, behind the best goalkeeper in the world. So
Kelleher's been a huge part of us winning the league this year, hasn't he? Because of Ali's injuries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, I think that people are going to try to downplay some of his performances, so that maybe they can get a deal on that. Maybe get a deal, especially the contract, the length of contract that's left on his deal hurts our causes somewhat. But the sheer fact of arrival is got to say a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
it's got to be a reasonable enough fee that we get it. Like, you know what I mean? We couldn't ask for too much with him only having a year left.
Yeah, that's the thing. So if we get 40 for him, I think you're going to be happy, I reckon.
I mean, like, would you do 50? And I'll ask Brian, answer. What would be your number? And then I'll ask the follow-up question.
I'd be ecstatic to get 40 for a goalkeeper with a year left on his contract. Okay. Absolutely ecstatic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're talking a realistic world, because they'll just walk away. And why wouldn't he just go, do you know what? Fuck it. I hang around, man. And as a free agent, I'll have a way better wage, a way better options. Only 1 year left. I think it's obvious what's going to happen is Mamrashvili, Allison next season, but Keller it's weird. He's been trying to leave, but also winning trophies at the same time. Not as if wanting to get away from the club, but the guy it's his own life, it's his own career.
Yeah,
he's known. He just wants to go and be the main man because he knows he's good enough. But you're at Liverpool, you play, you win a trophy. He's now got 2 league titles.
All right.
I think. Did he get a medal for the first one? I'm not sure. But he'll definitely have one now. But yeah, there's only so much you can. If you say to a club 50 for Kelleher, they'll just say, "Oh right, okay, yeah, we're fine." Yeah, no, we don't need that. We'll go and get a goalkeeper. That's just way too much. No one's going to give us that. I would take high 20s.
Oh wow!
I'd take 28. I'd take 28 million sterling, which would be probably 35 million euro. I mean, it's that kind of area. If someone said, because we've already bought a goalkeeper, we don't need to spend money on. We have Allison, we bought Mamrashvili, and we have Yaros re-signed. We don't need to spend any money on a keeper. So with a guy that's got 1 year left on his contract, you can't dictate. If you want to sell a player, the market will dictate the price. He's worth the highest offer you get. If you put a 50 million price tag on him, Yeah, everyone just walk away. So if you want to get money for him, you're gonna have to settle somewhere kind of reasonably around that kind of 30 million mark, I'd say.
Mm.
And that'd be fair to the kid. Let him go for a guy with 1 year left on his contract, 30 million for a keeper. You just take it. You know, he didn't cost us anything. He probably cost us about 50 grand. You know, it's fine. Go and work. Go and do that. Like I said, we've already bought our backup. We already have him, actually. It's not like we have to go and replace him. So,
And and I think signing him is because Keller probably had a word with the owners and that, and said, "Listen, I want to leave and be number one somewhere." Hence why we signed that goalkeeper. I think if he didn't say that, we wouldn't have signed that goalkeeper. In my opinion. So for me, Keller has
kind
wanted
of
to
the
go for a
opposite.
long time.
No, there's an
Eh?
interview with him. There's an interview with him, JK, where it's basically the opposite.
Yeah.
He said, like, he thought he had a chance, and he said, "Look, I know I'm number two to Ali. That's fine. Ali's number two. Ali's number one. I know it's no shame to be, you know, number two to the best in the world. But I was prepared to fight for my place. But then when the club signs another goalkeeper, then you know, okay."
Right.
So
So
that's the interview.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not, like he didn't say I'm leaving. So they're signing Mamarashvili. They signed Mamarashvili. So he said, "All right, fuck it. Well, I mean, I was
Weird
challenging
signing.
Alice. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. Now I'm going to leave if that's what they're doing. Yeah, if you get 30 million for him, he costs you nothing. It's a pure profit sale. You know.
Don't you think though as
There was-
well? You know when you think about backups for players, like we haven't got a backup for Virgil. We didn't get a backup, or we haven't got one yet, as good as Mo Salah. But you know, everyone's struggling to look for who you could get for Trent. But doesn't it seem really odd the way they went all out for goalies? You know, we seem to have them stacked up.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
I'd
There's a
have
good
changed it for Neto. Neto.
By the way, yeah, I was going to say there's a very good question. So you do Neto, obviously, because I know you do love Neto. Bernie, who would you? Is there any Chelsea player you'd take in an exchange?
Well,
I guess it's going off of Kelleher. If Kelleher were to go in an exchange,
I like Neto as well, but I like Jackson, so I'd probably look at Jackson.
Oh, you like Nicholas Jackson?
What? Wow.
Really? I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't
Okay.
expecting that one. Damn.
Okay. All right. It'd be a different type of chaos than Nunez, but okay. It would definitely be an adventure. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think he's very talented, and I think Slot could work with him.
Okay.
If I could have any Chelsea player, I'd have Caicedo.
Mm-hmm.
You'd still let him join.
Oh, yeah. I was
Join the
reading an
party.
interview with McAllister before, and McAllister was going on about just how good Caicedo is. He said, yeah, he's the business, like, you know, he's got everything. On the subject of transfers, there was reading before that, like, we're linked with Angelo Stiller again, and that Slot has actually voiced his enthusiasm to the owners about bringing Angelo Stiller into our project. So that'd be good news if that's true, because he's doing brilliantly, isn't he, this season in the Bundesliga. And we'd be able to afford him. It says like about 60 million euros. So that's about 52 million quid or something. We could afford him.
No, you could have picked anyone. Yeah, Jackson, Neto, Caicedo, and who would you say, Brian?
Sorry, Jackson, Palm,
Those are the two that
Caicedo.
have been picked. Those to Red Armchair supporters question, which was, in an exchange, who would you pick if you had an exchange the player? And I was assuming, since we're talking about Kelleher, he's probably making, like, if it was a swap deal, he had to swap him out. So who would you go for?
Oh, okay. if you wanted to take a player from them and throw in a Kelleher and make it an easier deal, Lavia.
Lavia. All right. Interesting. So Lavia. All right, I'm gonna make sure I get this right. Lavia, Neto, Jackson, and Castro. We're just, I mean, you don't know my pick, obviously Palmer, because I wouldn't have made a segment all about Palmer. It'd be weird if I said someone else after saying that segment. But I think Palmer's their talisman piece right now.
Neto's better than him.
You know, it'd be nice to take their talisman. I mean, yeah, some could say El Nino was one of our talisman pieces, and then he ended up going to Chelsea. It'd be nice to take one of their talisman pieces and make him our own. And make him at a better stage of his life. Not coming up in the injury or something on those lines. More so, someone that's playing just out of form needs to find some type of some connection with his teammates. Let me show you Liverpool squad that the computer is thinking. This is Liverpool squad they think is going to. I get to see Nkuke where I want the big screen there. Excuse me. Let me bring this down.
Is Joseph Gomez back for this one? Is he, or is it next week? He'll be back in the.
I think if they're looking at the last 2 games of the season, I think was the target they have.
Mm-hmm.
Where he'll be like at least a possible player to be chosen. I think this is what's interesting because this is the lineup that SofaScore has for Liverpool, and why I think it was interesting because Robbo and Trent Alexander-Arnold starting. I think it's very interesting to see who this coach goes with on our fullback positions is the most intriguing to me. I know a lot of us want to see Chiesa, want to see who's going to be in that number 9 role, maybe even that number 10 role. But for me, I think it will be interesting to see who gets the nod at right back just as much as more so at left back. Considering that Tsimikas has gotten a nod in the last couple of games. He's played well, as you know, in Robbo's ward, and it could be very telling if Robbo's not starting. It'd be very telling again if you're trying to get more games with Connor in as that right back choice, so that he gets familiar with starting and playing with the team in some games that against teams that are pushing for something. Do you see anything wrong or see anything you would go different in this lineup for yourself? I'll ask Lee that question. I'll make the choice so you can make sure you can see it too. This is the lineup. This is Opta scores or Opta's lineup suggestion.
Yeah, not been very adventurous with our lineup.
Yeah,
just gone for same as haven't they from the last game? That was the starting lineup for the last game, wasn't it? So they've gone same as. I don't know why they had Caicedo at right back for Chelsea. What was that all about?
That's where
they did that last week.
Last week.
They're doing a kind of inverted shit.
Oh, are they? So it's a real thing.
No, that's an actual thing. Yeah. They started last week. They started Lavia and Enzo in the middle, and they started Caicedo right back. And just went into
I thought they just made a boo-boo there by doing that.
No. Yeah, it's genuinely a tactic. So
yeah, it's like seeing Endo at right back. That was a first. That was the first. They got overlooked by not overlooked, but not spoken on it that much. It was the first time Endo's played right back for us in any game, I think. In the last previous game. But speaking on these two fullbacks, any names on this on Opta Scores prediction that you are against or think differently?
I would like Endo to be in there. At the expense of who is a matter of debate. I could replace any of the three with a really like. Maybe if we replace Sobo with Endo,
Okay.
would be the one.
Bernie,
Throw Matthew in, so we can carry
there
on with this
anything-
goal scoring form.
Yeah. Is there anything in this lineup that you're looking at that you would say? Again, you can do your expectations. You can do what you would choose, what you would want to see in your heart. But
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he won't put Quansah in for Canate. Just I said that earlier. I think he might put him in for Canate, and then. But I think with any of those, even Trent, I think Trent will only play so much, and then he'll bring Bradley on. I'm sure because Bradley's supposedly coming back, or he's supposed to be fit enough. He said, but I don't think he'll have him on.
No, he's had another minor knock, hasn't he? Which is quite disheartening for the future. He's got so many knocks, but Slot should specifically have like someone pay attention to his fitness and that. The way he's been great, like fitness wise. He's got to take a particular keen interest in Bradley, I think, and get it sorted out so he can be on the pitch more.
He's very physical, isn't he, Bradley? He gets stuck in. But to be honest with you, I actually thought Slot said that Bradley was fit to play, but even so, I still don't think he'll play the full game. So, I suppose looking at it, I don't know. I mean, the team that they've put up there, apart from Slobbersley, I think I'd rest him. He doesn't seem to be fully on it at the moment. So, again, I'm coming along after someone else. I've got to agree with Lee. I'd probably have Endo in for Slobbersley. That's it.
Yeah, if Trent's not going to be here next season and Slot knows that, then I don't see why he should start Trent. Because he did come out and say, next season, this is the beginning of next season. Now he actually used them words, talking about these last 4 games. So I would fully expect Bradley to start if this is the start of next season, because Trent's not going to be here, is he?
But if it's only his first game, Bradley, in a few, he's not going to play.
Be up to speed.
No, he's not.
Might be too much all at once, but making other changes, mightn't it?
Trent will play.
I think he'll have him on, but I don't think he's going to have him on, like for from the beginning. I think I don't know, but I think he'll put him on, maybe, have Trent on, let them do the business, and then, then bring Bradley on.
Yeah, he's got to have a better season next season, injury-wise. Bradley this season's been too bitty. He was out for ages after the Madrid game. It was such a pain in the arse as well. It was such a great performance from him, and he would go and get injured in that match, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if you see one injury, and you think, well, that's fair enough, anybody could have that. But then if you see a few little knocks and it starts coming in, you get worried, don't you, that is he going to be one of those players?
Oh, you do. I hope it's just because he's young.
Is that an honest word for you at Bernie and Lee? Is the knocks that he's picking up starting to be a little bit, red flag? Or is it,
it's a worry, mate. Yeah, it's a worry, mate. If Trent isn't here next season, what's our alternative to him? We've got Joe. I mean, Joe's okay at right back. I'm not as keen on Giral there, although he can play there, but I prefer Joe. I think Joe's a bit more suited to the right back role. That's our choices, isn't it? Like if Trent leaves, if Bradley spends a lot of the time on the treatment table, we're going to be looking at playing Joe in a lot of the games next season, unless we buy someone.
It is worrying because you've got to say that if you're going to put your faith in Bradley, because he's your first guy, and then if he is going to be the sort of guy who picks up knocks easily, it's like you say, who's we were lucky having him. he turned out to be a real bonus for us when Trent wasn't available, or as Trent's number 2.
Maybe they could find a half decent free transfer right back, just at the right stage of his career, who'd like to come here and, play a supporting role or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? We could find one on a free, because I don't think we'll have the money to go and buy.
So we were talking about that yesterday. Right? We were talking about that yesterday. We're talking about Ola Anya, right? Who possibly might be a player that can be on a possible free. I think Forest does have an option to extend him for a year, but it's looking like they might not extend him. It's not necessarily because he's a bad player. It's just more so they're just maybe ready to move on.
Yeah, a free transfer move at right back would make sense, because we need to spend the money in other positions, but we're not going to have the money to buy like a left back, a centre back, a midfielder, 2 forwards, a right back. Do you know what I mean? There's some of the things on that list are going to have to go, ungot, because we're not going to get it all, are we? So getting a free transfer at right back would make sense if we could find a decent one, like I said, who's at the right stage of his career and be happy to play a supporting role.
But if you were the manager or the coach or in the medical team, I think you'd really be looking hard now at Bradley. Just because otherwise, if he's your number 1, and then you'd have to be giving him all sorts of scans and checking him out. I would think, because otherwise
I know from the effectiveness of Slot's first season, like his injury record's been excellent. His fitness guys that he's got a boss. So I hope they get on the case and find out scientifically what's been going on with Bradley this season and sort it out for next season.
Yeah,
Brian, interesting question. Flipping the size of the pitch to the left. Bonkers has a question that says, anyone take Mark Cucurella at left back in place of Tsimikas?
No, I wouldn't. Don't rate
He's had a
Cucurella.
decent year. He hasn't had he hasn't had a really poor year.
Yeah, he's decent, but not for Liverpool, for me, Cucurella. He's not good enough defensively.
Okay. Brian? Brian's on mute, my fault. JK, are you there with us?
Yeah. Cucurella, for me, he just looks like a donkey. Like, his energy, just like he's won the bloody Euros with Spain, but he's just like a donkey. I don't know what it is about the guy.
Okay. He's had a decent year. I think he's had a decent year.
Mm-hmm.
The name's man, isn't it? Cucurella.
In the world, but I'm just saying.
Cucurella.
Yeah, so you're saying basically Tsimikas is a better option than Cucurella?
I would trust Tsimikas more than Cucurella.
Okay. That's easy said. Okay. I'll give Brian an option or a chance to answer that question when he comes back.
The commentators say Cucurella, I always think of Laka Karacha, that song, Laka Karacha. Which is the cockroach in it, which is not good for Mark Cucurella to make me think of a cockroach, right? But there you go.
Playing on the right team.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's an excellent point.
Well, let's get into score predictions then. Brian, did you want to take a quick stab at that real quick, or at the Cucurella question, which is
he's a good player, yeah. No, he's a good player. He is. Yeah, he had a bad year and a half at Chelsea, but he's actually very good. But it's maybe system wise.
Hot and cold. He's been hot and cold throughout the year.
Yeah. I know, but I wouldn't be going out there and buying him. If we had him in our team, I'd be like, a great player. But I wouldn't be going out there and buying the guy. No.
Okay. Let's get down to score predictions then. We're gonna get each panelist to give us a prediction. Maybe state who their key player is, who's the player to watch in this game for them. I can tell you myself, my head says it's a 2-2 draw. We're going to have a sermon from Desmond in this one. But I'm hoping we rotate. I think Palmer is going to show out. Therefore, I will say my heart is going 4-2 Liverpool, actually. I say we listen to a sermon for a bit, and then Salah, writes his own little gospel, and they let him cook a little bit. How about for you? Good, Lee. How about for you? What's your score?
There'll be a much stiffer test than Spurs were. I think it'll probably be a score draw as well. I think 2-2 sounds about right. We've had quite a lot of 2-2s against Chelsea. We've had 0-0s as well, and 1-1s, but I'll go for the Desmond as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bernie, score prediction, key player.
I'm going to go. Like a hard-fought battle. I think it'll be tomorrow, and I'm going to. So we're just going to edge in a 2-1 for us. And I think the key player tomorrow will be Maka.
Oh, okay. Very capable player of being that player. I mean, he's definitely been one of the main leads in a lot of our games as of late. JK, what about you? Score prediction. Key player.
You know what? When they're going to give us guard of honor, it's going to hurt their feelings. It's going to be like shame for them. Hence why they might put that. Yeah, like for me, bro, if I'm a player and I have to do a guard of honor, I'm going to be pissed. You want to beat this team. So I'm thinking Chelsea are going to try to turn up tomorrow. So it's going to be a bit of a tough game. I think they'll score. Maybe it'll be a 3-2 to us. Something like that.
Okay.
Our main guy, Salah, bro.
They're desperate for the points, aren't they, for all three of them, mate, to get Champions League.
Yeah.
It's very tight in there, isn't it, with Villa and Forest and
City winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, Chelsea got two things to put a shift in tomorrow. So it ain't going to be an easy game for us.
It's not.
3-2. As long as we win. That's the main thing.
It is not going to be an easy game. You're absolutely right. Score prediction and man to watch on the pitch tomorrow. Who is the player that you would think that's going to be? Brian.
Score prediction. I think Chelsea's going to win. I think we're in autopilot mode. We don't really have that extra bit of motivation they do. I think it might be a bit of a hangover. So I could see us losing this game. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Just be one of those games. You can just see it. Like we've got nothing to play for. Titles won. Can't go up, can't go down. They have something to play for away from home. Yeah, we can give it. Yeah, it just depends on them really. If they've got anything about them, they should be able to cause us problems. Yeah, like you say, a 2-2, that kind of thing. But I'm not expecting us to go there because it's just kind of our foot is off the pedal now. We've got nothing to play for. So if they really want it, they've got something to lose.
The Anfield match with them as the barometer for this one. Like if they play like they did then, they had a lot of possession, didn't they? And Arnie said it was his toughest game this season.
Yeah. Arnie has said that this team is a team that certainly is. He thought that was a formidable side, basically, when we faced them last. They always play us tough.
Our players will be on a high, though, won't they? We've just won the league, so our guys will be on a high.
Yeah. Depends, doesn't it? You just don't know. Are you on a high or are you on a autopilot? You just don't know, really, does it?
No, but I just have
to be on a high, like you can let it lift them to even greater heights tomorrow because we're going to get a
just don't know.
game out of them, aren't we? We're going to have to play well to win this game.
You'd like
We're
to
going to
think,
play well to get a draw, to be honest. Like, we're going to have to play well to get a draw, but we've got to play even better to take all 3 points.
you'd like to think for the players' sake that the high can get them through. That they actually think, yeah, we're champions. And let's teach these a lesson. You know, that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
look, we're having to watch people pass under a guard of honor with 4 games left at your grounds is not going to be an easy setting. Having it be the case where they now sit in, I want to say they sit in 5th place. Let me double check that. Or if someone can tell us what the standings are off the top of their head. I'll get the standings here. Yeah, they sit in 5th place. But they sit in 5th place with currently with Nottingham Forest, which is kind of wild. Forest sit with.
I said Forest won't get Champions League, bro. I said they'll even get relegated in the next few years. Their bubbles burst. Like them and Arsenal have been.
If they fall out of.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Out of it. They're in 6th place currently. Okay, they played 34 matches. They obviously have a match coming up, very important match, but they're in 6th place. Villa tied with them with 60 points.
They're playing Monday, I think. Yeah. They got to
Forest,
win that. Yeah. I think they said they got to win that game, Forest. That's what football is, bro. You can turn.
Palace, at a decent Crystal Palace team, and it's at Crystal Palace. The Emery won today, which is like another as he creeps back into the conversation of maybe getting into Europe. They have a very, very decent chance of doing that, by the way, because they're sitting on 60 points. Forest is sitting on 60 points. Chelsea is sitting on 60 points. Newcastle on 34 games, but are sitting on 62 points currently. City at 64 points are currently in 3rd place. Arsenal, 67 points, 35 matches played. There is a chance.
I think
there is a chance that Arsenal, if they don't play their cards right, could fall back into a spot that puts them into maybe even Europa or Conference League settings.
And if that happens,
depending on who wins FA Cup, and because that spot most likely is going to take away possibly that 6th spot, or bump that 6th spot down at least.
And that would be the funniest thing, that Tottenham win the Europa League and get Champions League through that, and Arsenal that get Europa League. That would be so classic.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yep. Very, very. It's a possibility for sure. Yeah. Some rotation hopefully is coming. Because this Chelsea team, as we've been speaking on, are going to be hungry for getting a win at the Bridge. Let me see. Chelsea's current run is they've beaten Everton. They beat their I can't even say the name of the team. All due respect to DIF, which is spelled Desjardins. I think it's called Desjardins. Jujardin, maybe. Anyone know that team?
Yeah, I think it's Gardens, something Gardens, something do you pronounce it?
Yeah, they're a Swedish team. They've beaten them in Conference League, obviously. Play Everton. By the way, they only beat them 4-1, the Swedish team, but they only beat Everton 1-0, and that was at the Bridge. They only beat Fulham 2-1, and that was at Fulham. They lost before that to Legla. But fortunately for them, they already had a big enough lead to get them through an aggregate. They drew to Ipswich, drew to Brentford, won against Spurs. A lot of teams have done that this year. Lost against Arsenal 1-0, and then you're going back to again their Conference League settings. So it's been a little bit of a
up and down,
up and down, rocky road for Chelsea. It's no real true incredible form there.
You know what happened to them, bro? It was that time when they were doing pretty well in the league, and they were like, Chelsea, the number one rivals for Liverpool. And ever since that day, they went downhill.
Absolutely. That was I remember when people were talking, and look, I was one of them talking about they can play two teams in this Conference League and in the Prem, right? And how those two teams can basically be well rested, be a real threat possibly at pushing the Premier League, or at least the top four. If at that time it was top four, now it's become top five. They could be real candidates to be in that top five. Obviously, they are, because they are right now currently in the top five. However, they were looked at as being title contenders possibly during that moment that JK was speaking on. And that was the big difference. Arsenal was having a little rough run. City had started to really flutter and fall off. We didn't really have the brilliant run of Isak and Newcastle making a difference. Forest was the surprise team in there, but as we see, they've fallen off a little bit. Villa, the team that I had picked making top five or top four at the time when I did pick them, has as of late picked up form. But at that moment, Chelsea was possibly the most, other than Liverpool, the most informed team. And then they got put on blast to say, can you really make a run in this year? And that was when, I think that was right around when their coach started downplaying the heck out of every last pundit or headline that came out saying they were actual contenders. He made it to a point where I think he made some comment that made a lot of Blues unhappy, to tell you the truth, considering they're a team that will, loves to spend and not look back. So it is an interesting case. Here's something that you might not know. We're going to put on 90th minute. Slot could become only the third manager in Liverpool history to win both of his first two league games against Chelsea. Can you name, this is all time, dude, it's not just Premier League. Can you name the two coaches that have done that? Two coaches before, if he were to accomplish it, he'd become the third. Can you name, I don't know if Norm is still in the chat, so I'm sure this is probably up his line. But can you name the two coaches that have done that before? Won both of their first two league games against Chelsea. You want to take a stab at that, Lee?
Roy Evans and Jurgen Klopp.
That would be incorrect, but a good shout. Honestly, saying King Kenny and Rafa, that's incorrect as well. Before I give out by eliminating, I'm just eliminating coaches for you guys, making it easier.
Was it Ronnie Moran? Was it Ronnie Moran? Oh, I can't remember the other one.
Two coaches, JK. You already think about it. Big Sam, and yeah, there you go. Red Archer supporter. Brian has to go. Okay.
Night, Brian.
Definitely. JK, do you want to take a shot at that one?
But could you give us a question again, bro?
All right. 2 coaches have won
Mhm.
their first 2 meetings with Chelsea. Can you name the 2 coaches? He has the opportunity to become the 3rd coach to win his first 2 games against Chelsea in his coaching career. Only
Okay,
2
I'll
other
go
coaches
with
before.
Kenny Dalglish and Klopp.
Yeah. It would be Shankly, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be Roy Evans.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
those are the 2 other coaches that have beaten Chelsea on their first 2 opportunities. Yeah. And there is a record that Mohamed Salah is possibly on the verge of getting, or is looking to he's looking to equal actually a former Chelsea legend, or not former Chelsea. I guess he's always a legend for him, but former Chelsea player and legend for their team. Mohamed Salah is on the verge of matching Alan Shearer and Andy Cole's all-time Premier League season involvement record. He also needs 1 more to equal Drogba's 29-goal campaign as a 30-year-old. So he loves doing damage to his former club, showing them that they made the mistake in giving him up. It is wild that he was once a Blue, had to find his way to Liverpool via Italy. Go ahead, Bernie. Were you to say something?
I've said good night to Jimmy.
Oh, good night. Good night. I know it's a late one, but it was just interesting that some of these statistics or some of these records that are on the verge of being broken are pretty, pretty nice company to keep when it comes to that manager list of the only other 2 managers on that list, and definitely would be nice to see Salah get this record. You know what record I want to see? We all have, I think, the record in mind of which we want to see him break. But I would like to see Salah get into the 30 plus. Be nice too. The 30 goal range. That'd be an accomplishment and a half.
I mean, he keeps breaking records, doesn't he? But aren't they saying he'll never be able to break Shearer's record? Well, he's too far.
Oh, yeah, sir. Yeah.
Too far ahead.
That could be tough.
But if anybody could have a go at it, it'll be him.
It's him. It is certainly him. Well, yeah, this is we all spoken on this. This is more than a formality. It's a battle of hunger versus legacy, I guess you could call it. Chelsea needs this, as we spoke on earlier. But Liverpool, I hope, will want to remind everyone that that's not just the Queen song singing in the background, that we are the champions. Whether it's for a record for Salah, for rhythm, or just to keep Chelsea waiting another year for Europe. This match has spice, to say the least. Drop your predictions in the chat, or excuse me, in the comments, if you haven't already done so. Let us know what you think. Who might actually get to play alongside Salah? Big question. Would you start Simicast maybe, for instance? Maybe get crazy and give Kelleher a nod, maybe. Put him on the. He's had a couple good games against Chelsea. I don't know if we're gonna let the kids, get on the pitch and this isn't that kind of game just yet. But but it's certainly one that is going to be a very interesting one. So if Arnie and our beloved Reds go to the Bridge and win it, it won't be just for 3 points. It'll be another reminder that we're building something here. We're building something that really will be even more thorough and certainly more menacing next year. A win here doesn't just protect our pride. It might just expose Chelsea, I think, as a flawed blueprint one more time. I'm hoping that it does. So I'm going to let my panelists give a little shout as to whatever they want to talk about. If they want to say something else real quick to those out there in the audience. I know it's getting late, so we'll begin with Bernie. Would you like to say anything to the people in the chat, or maybe something about project, event, maybe some stat that you wanted to share with us?
I'd just like to say to everybody that it's been so far. Anyway, we haven't finished yet, but it's been a great ride, being alongside everybody, and being able all to have a chat and to all support our mighty Reds together. You know, we're like a family, and I really appreciate that. And that's all. And let's remember that tomorrow is another small battle in the war. The war doesn't end yet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's win the battle.
Another brick in the wall. Yeah. How about for you, JK?
For me, bro, it's been last Sunday was top. And since that day, it's like I just feel that pressure's off us. So I'm gonna just try and enjoy this tomorrow game. Hopefully the players have had a week rest after their party last week to give us a good game tomorrow and finish the season. Like Arsenal lost today, so for me, I just want a big point gap between us and whoever finishes second.
Okay.
And thanks to all the people in the chat, as always. Catch us on the Reds roll call tomorrow before the game.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
Please do. Because maybe we get lucky, have Scouts Lee there too. Lee, what do you got for the people? Any last words? Any last thoughts? I know you're on mute. He might be in the bathroom. But
You're talking to Tracy.
Yeah, I'm about to say he might have got a call from Tracy on the low. Hard to let that love go. All right. Well, Lee, if you get back, it'd be good. I'll give you your little last words here to the people. But Hamtar Missy in the house. Big up. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's give a shout out to Bobby. Always love to give thanks and praises and good tidings to Bobby Blue Eyes. He's just won the Asian Champions League title, and he was the captain of the team for the event, by the way, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool. It was interesting too. I thought he was out of because they had gotten another player. I guess that's just for the league or something. Whoops.
I'll tell you what, it's worrying, Troll. There was I don't know, it was last week, the week before. There was on YouTube. There was like a podcast thing showing Bobby at the AXA Stadium, re-signing for Slot, and saying about how Slot said he missed that, the playmaker there, and it was so
I would
real.
love to. I'm on board for seeing Bobby in red again for sure.
Yeah, but it was so realistic, and obviously now it's just a clickbait thing.
Right.
But there was something else up today, and again, you could tell at the end it was AI, and it wasn't real. The dubbing the speech out, and I thought, you have to be really careful because I mean, I believed it when I saw it. I thought it was
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But
Because you
Colin-
want to believe it. I would want to believe it. If I saw that, I would want to believe it. I would see that and be like, I'm hoping this is true.
I know. And I mean, it was showing him signing with Slot and Slot smiling. And I'm thinking, I can see how that can work. You know,
Yeah.
that's viable, you know.
A little deep fake or something like that. I mean, that's wild. The power of AI, because that would be I think if we had if Bobby was 5 years younger, this team would be on the verge of some type of dynasty.
Do you think that he was a bit underestimated?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, people didn't realise until he'd gone just how good he was for us.
I don't know. I think that we appreciated him. I think we as Reds appreciated him. We saw the magic. We saw the reason why we all knew the reason why Salah and Mane were able to exist on that pitch together was because of the tie, the bridge that Bobby created.
He was the perfect player, wasn't he? Yeah, to get the best out of them too.
Yeah.
If we're going to have him younger, we'll have him 10 years younger. Hey, never mind 5. We'll have
I'm just
10
taking
years
5.
younger, Bobby.
Yeah. Just give me 5. Bobby 5 years younger.
And you know, the other thing as well, that rivalry that was there between Mane and Salah, Bobby always managed to cool it and keep them calm, didn't he? You know, in between, never got them wherever was going.
That one time when it flared up at Burnley, when Mo didn't pass to Sadio, and Sadio had a bad cob on and kicked a bottle or something, and you seen Bobby in the tunnel pulling this like smiling face, and he like pulled his eye down as if to say, "Watch out," because Sadio's in a strop with Mo over not playing him in at Burnley that time.
I'm trying to think. There was a game that both Bobby and Fabinho came back and they were in the stands for. You guys remember that one? Just relatively recent.
Yeah, they've been back, haven't they, since they've left? They've been back
to
watch a game.
It was during the Klopp. It wasn't this year. It was during the Klopp era. They came. I'm pretty sure it was during the Klopp era. They came.
How's Fabi doing in? How's Fabi doing in Saudi Arabia? Fabinho, because we know sort of a little bit of how it's gone for Bobby, but Fabinho, has it gone well for him at his club? Have they achieved any goals or that, like it?
It hasn't gone as swimmingly as he would like for it to go, but because I know that they ended up like. So, for instance, Tirmizi is talking about the Champions League for them because this game they won against J League Kawasaki in the final. So they won 2-0. He assisted on both goals. Now, he was on that roster. I don't believe he's on their league roster any longer. I think like they're allowed a certain number of foreign players to play on their teams. And in January, they got a player and they had to make a choice of who to drop off the list. And Bobby was making a nice penny. So they ended up, I believe, taking him off the roster. Now, if I'm wrong, please do correct me out there. But I believe he qualifies to still play for their team because they have a expanded roster for the Champions League version of the Champions League they have out there. He's on that. He was on that roster, but he wasn't. I don't believe he's on the league roster.
Oh, it's good for him anyway. Yeah, good for him that he got a win.
It's why I was hoping that. Hoping that Bernie's dream or Bernie's, I was hoping it could be right or correct, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? When you think about, Klopp, I always remember Klopp saying to Mo and to all the other players, if you want to be a legend, stay at this club. If you want your name up there and you want a statue, stay at this club and become a legend. And it impressed Mo, so he decided that's what he was going to do. But when you think about it, how wrong was Coutinho to go, when you think about it? Because where is he now? You look at how Mo's done, and, and Mo is going to become a legend, and he's stuck with it. And you look at Coutinho and you think, well, he's gone for glory, and it hasn't worked out for him, has it, really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I put up the Tarmizi comment because of Saudi League homegrown quota. He believes Bobby, that's the reason why Bobby wasn't in the squad. Yeah, basically what I was saying too. Well, congratulations to Bobby. We always root for your success as a Red, unless it's against us. We wish you the best, and as always, hope that you'll succeed at whatever you do. And I hope that we can succeed tomorrow. First, succeed in getting together for this roll call, and then also getting this win. It'd be nice to see us get this W against a team that not many of us, if any of us, actually like in any way of the word. In any way of the word. They're over there for the money. A trophy is just a bonus. I bet the Asian Cup, though, hits different for a lot of them. The Asian Champions League, I bet you that will hit differently. It's one thing to win the Saudi League, which they're trying to build up and everything else. It's one thing to win the Saudi League. It'd be nice to win the Champions League. For instance, I was watching our version of the Champions League here because Vancouver was in it against Inter Miami there, and they knocked actually Messi out of the Champions League, and that was a big hit. It was a big hit, and I think that it would have been nice if Messi had gotten at least to the final of the Champions League. They have a team. They have a really good team. Suarez played poor in that game, by the way, though. Unfortunately for Inter Miami, he couldn't hit a barn door if he tried, as they say. He was poor.
Do you think he might
had a couple of runs. Just hitting. He looked like he looked like another Uruguayan at times. How about that? I'm not going to say names, but he did look like another Uruguayan. With the same frustrations in trying to find the back of the net. At least that's what I would say when it came to the Inter Miami game for him. He should have had a hat trick. He probably should have had a hat trick. But knowing his abilities and the likes, he's just a player starting to form. But all right, my people. We said we're going to be going. We are going to be going. It's late. Definitely get some rest. Certainly tune in tomorrow. It's a relatively early game for myself, but I will be up and with you. It's a 7:30 roll call for us, for me at least here. So I don't know what time that calculates to. What time's the game for you
half
you guys?
4 kickoff for us.
Past 4. Okay.
16:30.
Half 5, yeah.
Okay.
You're 8 hours behind us at the moment, aren't you?
Right. Yep.
So what time will that be for you, bro?
It'll be the kickoff is at 8:30, but roll call will be at 7:30.
Okay.
And I won't have. I'm interested in this game. I won't have any wild adventures to relate in this game because I'm not going to go to the supporter pub on this one. But yeah, it'll be important that you guys, if you can, join us tomorrow for Reds Roll Call. Hopefully Bernie can join us. Lee, JK, obviously, hope that you can both join us as well. Big shout out to Brian. Hopefully everything's okay, and for whatever reason he had to leave. Hopefully he has time tomorrow. If he doesn't, you know that we're always walking with you, brother. And yeah, until tomorrow, definitely stay blessed, and also up the Reds, up the Reds. Okay, my people, we will see you tomorrow. Reds Roll Call, 4:30, right? 4:30 is the time. Please do be there. We will see you tomorrow. Take care, and
Bye,
up the Reds.
Up the Reds.